Hello, I'm Deco, and I'm trying to learn Pygame. Right now, I'm making this simple arcade-like game where you escape from these little squares as the little triangle guy while using these speed circles to escape. If you want to learn more about this game, you can watch the first video on it where I explain the end goal I'm trying to achieve. But without further ado, this week I hope to add two main things. One, a camera that tracks the player. Two, enemies with their AI. I immediately got started with the camera, which was pretty easy, since the only thing I currently have in the game is the player. So I can just give the illusion of a camera following the player by snapping the player to the center of the screen. The problem is, now I can't tell where the player is since there's no point of reference. So I decided to change course. I decided to introduce the aforementioned speed circles first due to them being a static object that doesn't move, unlike the enemies. I initially began 5 different sets of variables so that there could be 5 different circles on screen at a time. But I remember that lists were a thing, and after a few seconds of research, I learned how to use them. If you don't know what a list in Python is, I like to think about it like folders on your computer. Inside this folder, you can store as many values as you want, or you can store other folders with multiple values in them. For example, here I create this list. Then I append 5 speed circle folders with values in them for their x and y coordinates. For this, I'm only storing 2 numbers, but you can store whole lists within lists. They're very flexible and useful if you need to keep track of a bajillion things without having 100 of different individual variables. Here, I run the script for every speed circle within the list, which draws them at their relative xy coordinates relative to the player. And boom, they appear. After I got that working, I made a simple function that takes the player's chords and outputs a random position that is just off screen of the player's camera. So now if a speed circle gets too far, I just respawn it off screen. So all the speed circles you're seeing is the same 5 speed circles respawning around, with the illusion of there being endless circles. The issue is sometimes you still drive into patches where no speed circles are, so you can't tell which direction you're going. But I can't just add more speed circles, because then that will let the player go way too fast. So I made another list this time. This time I called it background dots, and I just copied the same code over, but made it spawn 500 instead, and instead of circles, tiny gray squares. I also made the distance of respawn way lower, and after that, it looks good enough for now. I'm glad I went on this background side tangent though, because now that I know how to use list, I began making the enemies with another list, this time with more variables for y and x speed and direction they're facing. Then, using the same direction logic as the player, I made it go towards the player and... Oh, wait, what? Oh, I see what's going on. It's just a syntax error. Okay, that's a little closer. Let's just flip the direction. That sort of works, but they overshoot. I'll just add some friction. Okay, yes, it works now. Testing with the enemy AI, I realized the movement kept feeling off and a bit jumpy. And I was going to do a simple speed print to find out what the problem was. But I realized it's probably info the player would like to know. So I did some research and learned how to display text and add a speed counter, and I immediately see what the problem was. The speed circle was putting your max speed all the way up, but keeping your speed the same. So you'd feel like you're speeding up a lot, and then suddenly the max speed would catch up and slow back down, and you'd feel like you suddenly stopped. After I fixed that, I realized the enemies are all bunching up, since they had the same target location. And I could have them avoid each other with some sort of Boyd system. But you know what would be funnier? What if they rammed into each other and bounced away chaotically? So I made this simple script that makes it so that if they overlap, they adds velocity in the opposite direction. I also made it so that they try to predict where you're headed by 1 second. And now it's really fun to avoid them. I'm not sure what to do if they catch you yet, so I just made them slow you down for now. I was thinking about making it so your speed is your health. So it's like dual purpose game design, but I'm not sure yet. And honestly, it's really fun right now, as you can see by how much B-roll there is in the background. I played for a while. Honestly, I did way more in this devlog than I thought I would have. I don't have much planned for the last video on this game now, so if you guys have any ideas, comment them below.